Welcome to the ArmChair GM Podcast. I'm Chris. That's Dylan. The Flames have been taking on all of our favorites for the preseason. Why don't you say we just get into it right now? You are watching the ArmChair GM Podcast.
That is a sick new intro, Chris. Good job.
I like it. Rocky Mountain Maniacs coming through with that banger. Still, we're using that song again because it's a great track. But figure we better introduce some great plays from the 24-25 season and get ready for season 5 of the ArmChair GM Podcast. Hard to believe, Dylan.
Fuck yeah, we've been doing this. Even we were just talking about it before we hopped on here, but we had another podcast we were doing before. We've been doing this for 7 years, Chris. 7 fucking years.
You would think we'd know what we were doing by now, but no. But no, we don't. We're just a couple of dickheads on the internet screaming into the microphone. It's fun.
It is fun. It is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into the preseason, man. Obviously, we had the split squad with Edmonton, which always seems to go the way of the less experienced team. Like every year, it always seems to be that way. And then what was it? One against Seattle and one against Vancouver.
Yep.
A few guys stood out. One guy in specific didn't stand out to me, and we'll get into all that. But one guy who's really stood out for me is Sam Morton. Actually, I don't know if you've paid a whole lot of attention to him because if he's going to make the team, he'd be like a fourth line center type of guy. But the stuff that he's strong at is the type of things that you like to see from fourth line centers, kind of Derek Ryan-ish. And a lot of guys don't stand out when they're just positionally sound. But for some reason, I kept noticing him like be in position. And a lot, like I said, a lot of times you don't notice guys are just in position and that's their main strength. But I noticed him being in the right spot with sticks and just being there a lot.
Yeah, he's definitely a good positional player for sure. He understands the assignment there. I think given, eventually, third line role will be really good for him. But I mean, for starting out on the preseason so far, I think he's looked pretty good. I don't think he's going to make the opening day roster, but he's shown some really good signs of progression, and I think he'll probably make the team. I'd say in 2 years. But no, I do like what I've seen from him. He's gritty.
He's a little gritty, and I do think I don't think he's going to make the team out of camp, but I could see him like coming up and playing 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 games type of thing throughout the season in a couple different stints. But yeah, the thing is there's just not enough room, right?
Yeah,
we've talked about that lots, and so is every other outlet. There's no room on this team for young guys except for probably Perek.
which is a shame because there's certain young Karens that I think is like any other scenario where our bottom 9 isn't a logjam. I mean, he's making a hell of a case, I think, for making game 1. He really is.
I'd like to
really
see him
stood out in all of them.
I'd like to see Conroy back up what he says and make room for a player like Cairns who is showing that he's ready for a shot, right?
Yeah.
And there's a few other guys, like I think Hanzek also he's looked pretty good. I don't think he scored in the preseason. Cairns has off of a nifty little dish from Zeri, but
Yeah. Well, even
yeah,
on that one that Karen's took, he pulled it out of our zone, skated up, dished it over to Zara, gave him back to him for that nice shot. Like that was a lot of work from Karen's right from start to finish. That was a great play, a great effort from him.
yeah, no, absolutely great. And I found like the biggest thing that people have always said about him is his skating is a problem,
Mhm.
and I haven't noticed that. It seemed I don't know if he spent some time with Danielle Frigida or whatever, but he's seems to be just fine as a skater, and I didn't even notice it last year in his 5 games with the Flames.
I didn't find him to be out of place or, you know, having an issue keeping up with the play, but it's certainly not a problem this year if it was last year.
Yeah, well, I'd like to see him get a shot. I'd like to see Conroy make space for a guy like that if he continues to show throughout the preseason that he's ready to go, ready to be a full-time NHL player. Um, and like I was saying, Hanzak never scored in the preseason so far, but I do believe his board play, like the
Mhm.
extra 15 pounds or whatever he put on, seems to be working. His board play is great. He's winning a ton of battles, staying on the puck, not getting knocked over super easy. All with a grain of salt. It's preseason. The vets aren't
Sure.
trying very hard. And they're not even playing against very many vets.
Yeah, it's true. But he's also skating hard and his back check has been impressive too.
Hmm.
You
I
know,
agree.
he, maybe he's one of those players that should play a few games with Coleman and Backlund just to really firm up that that two-way game a little bit because I was watching him in the Seattle game, I think Seattle game, and he was really fighting hard, both directions, right? If the puck was going up the ice out of the zone, he was on it and he had his head down and moving. And same thing coming back. So I was really happy with what I saw from him.
Yeah, me too. And those solo rushes, like I don't have anybody in mind right now. Almost like Todd Bertuzzi, um, with Sam Honzek there, where he's getting up the ice fairly quickly and skating through people. How Kadri would like to be able to, but can't.
Yeah.
And but he's actually successful at it. And then he keeps going and kind of gets a breakaway or gets a semi break. I think he's done that 2 or 3 times, and each time it's been like,
Mhm.
wow, this guy's skating has improved so much, and
Yeah.
his ability to hold on and shield the puck from his opponents is really standing out.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree. The I know he's not one of the young guys really fighting for a spot, but Coronado really seems to be trying to make sure he stays with the club, isn't he? Just in case there was any doubt, he's really putting in that extra effort. Fucking
Yeah,
kid.
yeah, just
He's the only one
sign
that's
a
really an actual player that's going to be playing, game one that looks like he's fighting for a spot, and I think that's really cool.
I think Zary too. But Coronado for sure. Just he's coming off that signing that big extension, which is huge and is going to look great. But I've really liked Coronado's game. Just more of the same, in my opinion, from him. Like the exact
Yeah.
same as he showed last year, and hopefully he just starts with the ice time that he didn't start with last year, and can you know get up to 30 goals or 60 points or something like that. That would be great. Um, and
Yeah.
Zeri
For
too. Like I haven't his game in Seattle. A lot of people were saying he played really well in Seattle, but I wasn't a huge fan of it. But I have found that he was also like the main guy, right? Like he was the only real player on the Flames up front. You know what I mean? In that Seattle game.
Mm, I mean, aside from like Huberdeau, Frost, Sharon Govich, and Coronado.
Oh, sorry, I'm thinking Vancouver.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the Vancouver game, Zary was pretty much the only guy
Yeah.
up front, and that was the game that I thought he wasn't great in, but I thought he was pretty good in the game before. He seems to be getting his confidence back when it comes to skating with the puck, and that's what you want from a guy like that. He's the transporter, right? He's one of the best
Mhm.
transporters on the team, if not, the best. He's definitely in the top two, probably him and Frost.
Right.
But I'm have you noticed him on his ass far too much?
Yep. That's one of the things I put on my notes is that he's really getting himself into awkward situations along the boards.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, man. Like I want him to succeed, but there's just so many things that I see in his game right now that makes me think that he's going to be missing games again.
Yeah, which is weird because my whole thing with his injuries in the past is that they haven't been, you know,
Mhm.
like he
Yeah, they've
wasn't
been
putting
freak.
himself in positions, he's just been getting bad luck. But
Yeah,
he's putting himself in positions to get hit now.
yeah,
This year,
yeah,
in the
mhm,
preseason anyways, and that's
yeah.
not good to see. Hopefully he can get rid of that. I wonder if it's also partially playing wing, maybe playing center. Not that there's room for him to play center, but maybe being around the ice instead of on the boards more would be better for him. Um,
Mhm.
although the one collision last year with Hellison was not on the boards,
Yeah,
but the one with Rantanen was. So, you know,
yeah, yeah. It's
but
hard to
it
say.
is
It's just
worrisome for sure.
I think so. Yeah, that was kind of one of my takeaways from him. I thought he struggled in the Vancouver game personally. And I say struggle loosely. Like he didn't really impress me, but I think it was mostly because I was more worried about his play against the opponents in the on the board situations and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And I didn't really see a lot of that creativity that we've kind of grown to love about him.
yeah,
Again, like you said, that could potentially just be changing in position, right? Going from center to wing, even though he's played a lot of wing,
he's played a lot of wing. Yeah,
right? But yeah, it's he's going to be one of those guys to watch for the first 15 games, I think, really.
yeah. He's also one of those guys who like he's on the team for sure, but
Mhm.
he's got to work his way up in minutes, in my opinion. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm a huge fan of Zary, but um, I think he is in a position where he's probably not going to get a whole ton of minutes to start, and he's going to have to earn his way up the lineup a little bit. Which I think he's got the skill to do, but this preseason been a little rough. I don't know. I don't know what it is, because you'd figure guys also try not to get hurt in the preseason, except for Farabee apparently. Uh, but
Uh, he's got
just
something to
dropping
prove
the
too, right?
gloves.
Because I mean, he's got to prove himself, I think, and I think he recognizes that.
Yeah,
I think he recognizes that he didn't exactly have a good campaign last year in a Flames jersey. So I think he's trying to go that extra mile, and good on him. At least he's veteran enough to understand that and realize kind of what needs to happen to stand out for the
yeah,
coaches, and he's essentially doing it. Obviously, I'd rather see more offensive plays from him, but if he's going to be that in that role, then do it. Might as well just accept it and move on with it.
yeah. Um, speaking of guys who struggled, is it not super weird seeing number 23?
Mm. It is. I I don't really take a lot of stock in numbers unless they're retired or should be retired. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, it's
It's
odd
just
for sure, but
strange to me seeing it,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's fair. Um, but yeah, Kirkland, kind of give him the benefit of the doubt because it's his first couple of games
Mhm.
since having major surgery and missing half a year.
Mhm.
But at the same time, not looking too good. Uh, kind of shoddy defensively, not really able to keep up. I could see him being a guy that gets waived for a guy like Rory Cairns or
Mhm.
Sam Honzek even or somebody like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Or Moran.
Moran, I think Moran's probably going to spend all of the season in the AHL, um,
Probably. But
just
he's
because
looked good.
he looked all right. Yeah, um, he was the only defenseman against Vancouver, I think it was, that I noticed for good things, other than Brstevich, a little bit, but he was yeah.
Yeah.
Um, the rest of them had a really, really, really tough time, and even Brstevich to some extent. I think Brstevich is knocking on the door though. Um, he had a couple of
Yeah.
really good games. He had a couple of good games with one glaring mistake in them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I took it a little bit different personally. I thought he played really well offensively for sure.
Yeah.
Like, he's got some really good creativity on the back end, and he's got a great shot. But I personally thought he struggled mightily at defense myself. He made a couple of reasonable plays, but I think he still has a lot of work to go on
Yeah.
defense personally.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And that's always been the thing with him is the defense part of it, right? But
Mhm.
uh yeah, I think both him and Moran are probably full-time AHLers to start the season and
Yeah.
probably I think Rustevich is knocking on the door. Like he'll probably get a few games in the NHL,
Mhm.
partially because he's waiver exempt. I
Right.
thought Kuznetsov has looked good.
Mhm.
Um,
Yep.
I think he's kind of um, past Solovyov on the depth chart. I think Solovyov has been ahead of him for the last couple of years, but I think Kuznetsov is looking much stronger than Solovyov, and I could see him getting some games too. But he's wait like
Yeah.
the waiver thing is going to be a problem for the Flames. Like I don't think he'll get claimed because every team has a couple of those guys.
Right.
Karen's maybe, but yeah, I'd like to see Kuznetsov get a shot. He's definitely played a lot better than he did last year, and
Yeah.
a couple of strong hits and just solid defensive positioning. And that's all you really need from a guy who, eventually you'd like to see slot into your third pair type of thing and be a, you know, Michael Stone without the shot type of guy, right?
Yep. A good, defensive defenseman, stay at home guy.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no, I've actually been quite happy with his preseason so far for sure. I think he's shown a lot of good signs of just being steady, like a Bahal type,
Yeah.
just in the right position, good at taking bodies off the puck, good at taking the puck away from guys, and just being steady, just
Yeah.
quietly going about your work. That's what I want from my defenders.
100%. Um, Perek, how have you seen it?
You know, he's had a couple of really, really nice defensive plays,
Yeah.
getting back, getting the puck off, and even a couple of really good physical plays behind the net too. Um, he really is going to be dynamic offensively. Like, he
You can
really
see
is.
it,
Like,
eh?
he's just, oh man. Like, and I don't, me, I'm not a fan of of
Gypsy
defenders
doodling
that are
defenseman.
right, because that's
Yeah.
never been my style, right? But he's going to be impressive. He's not impressive yet, but you can see those signs there. Like yeah, he's impressive at every level he's been at. This is the NHL. It's going to be different for him. He's going to
Yeah.
be playing against a lot, bigger guys, tougher guys, meaner guys. So I think that's going to take him some time to get used to and figure that out. But I think he's going to figure it out. I think he's going to be he's going to be something.
I
And
agree.
he just keeps getting better defensively too at the same time, which is really good, a really good sign in my opinion.
Yeah, I've always been terrified that he's going to be like Carlson, and I know
Mhm.
that Carlson is going to end up in the Hockey Hall of Fame, even though you can score 100 points and be a negative 100, and that's okay, I guess. I don't get it, but
Put him on the wing. Put him on the wing.
put him on the win. But I think that well, I guess Carlson was like minus 25 or something with 100 points, but that's still, you're on the ice for a lot of freaking goals there against there, but um but as far as Perret goes, I'm seeing the defensive plays, like the couple that you talked about, where a guy got away and he kind of caught up, used his speed, caught up, and took the guy off the
Mhm.
puck, or took the puck off the guy,
Mhm.
um, and also angling guys off of from in front of the net, not like pushing them around or anything like that, but angling guys off so the goalie has less of a less of a range of where the puck will be coming from.
Yeah. Yeah,
I've
absolutely. And
enjoyed
he made
that.
one play, played one game or one play there against Vancouver that he stayed with him and just rode him right into the boards. A decent hit, nothing thunderous or anything like that, but decent hit, and then just turned around, took the puck and passed it off. Right. It was such a nice, clean play, a bit of physicality, but just intelligent defense. It was really nice. It was a good play, really good play.
And there's one thing I noticed about the power play, in zone power play, like in the offensive zone with him. Um, the Flames have had this problem for years where they'll just pass the puck around the outside and they won't actually get in, and and they'll just keep passing four guys around the outside or whatever. And there was a few times I noticed Perek was like, "What the fuck is with this bullshit?" And then he just
Yeah.
filtered the puck through, and people crashed the net. And
Yeah.
he's good at filtering the puck. He kind of Giordano was
Mm.
really good at that too. And
Yep.
I got little flashes of that where it's just a nice floating wrister that ends up on the pad of the goalie,
Mhm.
and then pops out, and then it seemed like guys were really crashing the net in that one game. Anyways, and it caused a lot of havoc. I don't think there was a goal coming from it, but you could see that that he's not going to be okay with this stagnant power play bullshit,
Yeah.
and that really, really, really impresses me.
Isn't that how Zari got his goal? Pristevich just, got it to the net, wristed to the net or shot it to the net, got the rebound, and then it went. Isn't that how he got that goal? Like
Yeah, but I
those
was talking
plays
about
work.
Perek.
I know, but that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like those plays work, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Like there's, if you have the right guys that are in front of the net, guys like Zari, guys like Huberdeau now, who who's seems to be really good at playing that position. I think, yeah, I think it's going to work well for for the power play if we can get guys more engaged. And you're right, you know this whole circle around the zone thing just it's boring. It doesn't work. It doesn't cause anything.
It
Other
doesn't
than
cause
get
the
guys.
opponents to move very much. That,
No,
like, the four of them can stay in a very like within 3, 4, 5 feet of the same spot. Whereas
yeah.
when people start filtering shots through, um, you know, they
Well,
have to move, and that's when
well,
things start. when people start getting out of position and when things start getting a little chaotic is when power plays score. So
yeah. Well, exactly. Even last night they were kind of doing it a little bit, and Derek Wills, because the online broadcast had the Fan 960's
yeah,
audio, and he was kind of doing that, and Wills was just like, "This is some good sustained zone time." I'm like, "This is fucking nothing. Like this is just
this
a
is
waste of everybody's time. This is just
this is
running out the clock, running out the clock in a game we're losing. Like, what are we doing?"
yeah. Well, a man up. It's just
Right.
asinine.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, those are most of the guys that stood out for me. We're not going to go too long today, as it's just preseason, and most of this can be taken with a grain of salt. Perek's probably going to make the team, in my opinion. And he's not going back to junior. That's for damn sure.
Right.
And I can see him. My original thought was that Perek will probably be taking power play one, within the first 5-6 weeks, but I think he might take it sooner, but
Mhm.
still be relatively sheltered 5-on-5. Was there any guys who, or go ahead?
I can definitely see that being the case personally, because I mean we've had um, Uyghur kind of in that position for a while now, and not last year, but the year before he did fairly well, at least point wise. But it wasn't. He's not a quarterback in that situation, right? He's not someone that's going to take over the power play where Perek potentially can. So I
Yeah,
think you just got to put him in these situations to succeed.
absolutely.
Give him that extra 2-3 minutes a game in power play one, and let's see what he can do. This is the year. This is the year to find out.
I totally agree. Were there any other guys that stood out for you or didn't stand out? There's one other guy I wanted to talk about that doesn't stand out, but you go first.
Um, there's a guy for me that stands out, but for the wrong reasons. Can Am I the only one that thinks that the Hunt experiment needs to come to an end? The
I
coach
don't
gives
think
them
he was
way too much.
bad, but he's also not supposed to be a first liner, you know?
No, but the coach just loves him, puts him in key situations, and
Yeah.
we pull the goalie. Hunt goes over, fucks up, takes a penalty. I'm not saying we're going to win the game if the scenario is different, but it's just of all the people on the bench, in my opinion, that are showing progression and can potentially get get a spark or give a spark to the team, just Hunt for me just is not it, like at all.
That's fair. Like he's gonna be an AHL guy, right? Um,
Yeah, but he's
he's not
no
gonna
trouble.
be
He's going to
on,
be one of the first guys called up. He always he,
and
always,
that's
he
a
has for the
problem.
last 2 years. Like the last
Yeah.
2 years, he's been the go-to guy, and it's like fuck. I can think of 7 players I'd rather see called up over him.
Yeah. No, I agree. I totally 100% agree with that. Um, and even him being an AHL guy is a problem because he's gonna get top 6 AHL minutes instead
Yeah,
of one of the younger guys, right?
yeah,
Um, I was talking with somebody on Discord the other day, and we were talking about it. It's like they re-signed both Ferk and Hunt, and they should
right.
have signed one of them, not both of them. That's just my opinion. Yeah, a guy that stood out for the wrong reasons for me is Andrew Basha. I know a lot of
Yeah, fair.
fans are super pumped on this guy because he's from Calgary and he was supposed to be a first rounder and he fell to us in the second round and all of this stuff, which is great.
Mhm.
But he lost a lot of last year from due to injury. He did not look like he was able to stay on a puck. Like his quest for the puck is there, but his ability to keep it is not. And I think, and he seemed kind of slow and just out of sync. And he is AHL eligible this year, but I kind of think that going back to Medicine Hat might be Is it Medicine Hat or Lethbridge? I can't remember. It's one of the two.
Can't remember
But going back to junior for an overage season might actually do him a lot of good if he can stay healthy and just absolutely destroy the CHL.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Well, I think you're right. Like, I don't think he's really ready for professional hockey yet. You
Yeah.
know, he played what, 2 games out of the 3, I guess technically 4.
Yeah.
He played against Vancouver and he played against Edmonton as well. I mean, least amount of ice time as any player. Not put into key situations. It's just is what it is, right? He's not ready. He's not ready.
Yeah, I agree. I do believe it's the Medicine Hat Tigers. Just but still. He looks like, and it's not a bad thing. Like, he got hurt. He missed a bunch of time in one of the big development seasons in a guy's life, right? And unfortunately, it seems like he's just got to do a little bit more cooking. I'm sure he'll be a fine player one day. I'm sure he'll be a fine professional hockey player one day, but I think he's just another year off of making the AHL, which is too bad because he's one of the few young guys who, him and Gradine actually, are the two young guys who are, and Moran, who are AHL eligible, who can move in and play AHL minutes.
Yeah.
Gradine looked pretty good too, eh?
You know what, him and Karen's, I think, are a really good duo. I think they play really well and complement each other. I think going back to Basha there, just a quick note there, he missed 2/3 of last year.
Yeah,
So that's a lot of hockey in when you're 18 years old to be missing when you're trying to make a serious push to become a pro.
absolutely.
But yeah, I do agree. He should go back to Medicine Hat for another year and really thrive there and then take the next step. Right. It's unfortunate, he'll end up being 20 when he, joins the Wranglers, but it is what it is, right? Not all players develop and are ready to go at 18, and that's fine.
100%.
Yeah. Gradine, I really do like. I think I mean, I've liked him for a while. I think he's gonna end up being a really, really good middle to bottom 6 guy. And with some key penalty kill and power play minutes on the second line of both. But
Maybe.
I
Yeah.
but I do like the pairing of him and Karen's together. I thought they really looked good together, especially in the Seattle game. I thought they really did well together.
He pops for me, right? Now, I
Yeah.
don't think he's going to make the NHL this season just because he's hasn't played any professional hockey before. I'd
Mhm.
like to see him stapled to that AHL right wing first line and first power play. I think he's ready for that, but
Mhm.
I don't think he's ready for the NHL. But I'm kind of gonna disagree with you. I think his skill set is more towards, to me, like a top 6 power play 1 abso-fucking-lutely no penalty kill kind of guy.
Fair. Yeah, that's
Um,
fair.
yeah, but
I just found him to be really responsible when the other team had the puck. And I think he could develop on that or grow with that.
I hope you're right. That would be awesome.
Yeah. But no, I can see why you would say that for sure. I mean, without a doubt, he's definitely geared more in that direction. Um,
He's got offensive talent, and he really likes to rush with the puck. And the parts of Kadri that we like when he's actually successful at deking Gradin's got that.
Fair. Fair.
And
It's apparently
that
that's one of
drive.
the things you learn when you're in the queue, right? Right, because it's definitely more of a finesse game.
Yeah, Q is lower scoring than the rest of the CHL, but it's still
Right.
junior hockey.
Hmm. Yeah.
But I do think that in the next couple years, not now, but in the next couple years, Gradin's going to be a major contributor to the Flames offense, and yeah, he's got
Yeah.
that sizzle when it comes to making offensive plays. He's filtered a few really really nice passes through, and he's filtered a few um, really nice scoring opportunities through multiple defenders, and
Yeah.
I'd like to see him do that full time against the best guys on the other team in the AHL for an entire season.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. But I don't have much else to say. It's just preseason, right? It's there's not a whole lot to talk about. Um, it's pretty much everything with a grain of salt, like I was saying. The vets haven't started trying yet, so you don't really know.
No, that's true. Bean's really trying out there, but I feel like he's trying to get murdered.
He's trying to get murdered, and I think he's trying to vie for Brustevich's top line AHL spot.
You know what? You can't have it.
Unless Brustevich is up, then he can have
Right.
it. But
That's fair.
Bean
Yeah.
is
Keep
like,
this seat warm. I'll be back in 7 games, basically.
yeah, I think Bean, I don't, last year, I didn't dislike him as much as other people did.
Yeah.
This preseason, he's been legitimately awful. Like,
Mhm.
horrible. There's been a lot of goals against where Bean is just kind of hanging out in the complete wrong spot directly in the view of the camera. And it's just
Right.
like, yeah, he's
Yeah.
I think we gotta find the John Bean cannon and fire his son.
I think so
Fucking
too. It's not. I don't really have much.
nepotism hire.
I don't have much against the kid, but
Yeah.
I just legitimately have 8 other defenders I'd rather see on the ice. Yeah.
Yeah.
As simple as that.
And
And that's
Miramonov,
and that's with fuck. I don't, you know what? I'm not even. Don't talk about him.
both of
Just
them
let
need
him
to go away.
fade into the distance. Like let's not bring his name up. There's no reason to give him airtime. Just like there's no reason to give him ice time. Just wave him. Let's move on.
I agree.
Fuck's sake.
I know that I heard people that went to the game in Edmonton that said Miramonov looked really, really good. Of course, I only watched like 5 games or 5 minutes of that game.
Right.
Once
He
the
probably
game in
wasn't on the ice.
Calgary ended, but the only viewing I've had of Miramonov so far has been fucking awful. Him and Bean both need to not play for the Calgary organization ever again, in my opinion.
Him and Bean need to both become has-beens.
All right, go Flames,
I just
go. Make sure to like and subscribe. Comment how bad that joke was in the comment section below, and also let us know how you're feeling about the preseason, what you're excited about, some guys who stood out, maybe some guys who didn't stand out. Follow us on X at ArmChair GM _pod. Interact with me on Reddit, all over the Flames forums all the time on Reddit, and make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. Share us around and search out our new Spotify. It'll be updated in our links in the description of the show here. Also, don't forget to follow Rocky Mountain Maniacs on Spotify as well. They're a banger of a Calgary band, and if you have a chance, maybe step out and go watch them live somewhere. They do put on some pretty good shows.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in for another episode of the ArmChair GM Podcast. It's been a lot of fun.
Go
Till
Flames,
next
go.
time, go Flames.